Hey guys, I hope you're having a beautiful day. I hope that you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of the day it is for you. We're going to do an extra cozy, slow yoga practice today, a deep stretch flow. So we're going to take our time as we work through these movements. I've got my big comfy sweater, my big comfy pants on, and we're just going to enjoy this slow and relaxing stretch. So go ahead and get on your mat and let's get ready to get started. We're going to start in a standing position, just keeping the feet placed evenly under the hips here. We're going to stack the head over the shoulders over the hips over the knees, and the knees over the ankles. So get that good straight spine. We're going to start in mountain pose. So we're going to take those palms open. We're going to close the eyes, drop the shoulders away from the ears, and just take a few deep breaths here. We're just going to bring all of our awareness to this space, all of our awareness to this mat. This is going to be a slow and gentle practice today. We're just going to move through these poses slowly and enjoy that deep stretch. So taking that deep inhale through the nose, the long exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One more inhale through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Inhale, let's get a big sweep of the arms up. Exhale, sweep the arms slowly down. Inhale, big sweep of the arms up. Now let's interlace those fingertips, taking the pointer fingers up to the ceiling. Get a little dip to the right. A little dip to the left. We're just warming up the muscles here. A little dip to the right. And a little dip to the left. Taking the pointer fingers up, gaze up past the thumbs, deep inhale. Long exhale, take the hands swan diving all the way down into that first forward fold. Now, this is that first forward fold, so let's take a little pedal here. Let's not hold too much pressure in those hamstrings or in the knees. So we're just going to pedal out those muscles, just a gentle bend of one knee and then the other. Now you can take this pedal as quickly or as slowly as you desire, just listening to your body here. We're just going to use this practice just to slow down, to get some deep stretches in those hips, hamstrings, and just take a few deep breaths as we slow down. Maybe this holiday season has been extra busy for you. Maybe you've noticed some tension and tightness building up in those muscles or joints. We're just going to take this time to just slowly work that out, relaxing both the body and the mind during this practice. Now let's go ahead and straighten both of those legs, reaching down for the toes. And then inhale, let's come to that flat back, lifting it up halfway. Exhale, melt it back down. Inhale, coming up halfway. Exhale, melt it back down, and then on this next inhale, let's roll it all the way up, one vertebrae at a time. And then exhale, drop those shoulders back. Now we're going to come into a warrior two stance. We're going to take those right toes forward. Take that left heel to the back corner of the mat. So the right toes are facing forward, the left heel to the back corner. We're going to center up those hips, center up those shoulders. Bend that front knee, elongating those arms, and then take that gaze down the middle right finger here. So this is that warrior two to that right side. So bending through the right leg. We're going to take just a few breaths here, relaxing in this pose. Not allowing the pressure to build up in the joints here. Just taking a few deep breaths. Making sure those shoulders and hip face forward. Now, deep inhale through the nose. We're going to take that left arm, sweep it behind the back, reach the right arm up to the ceiling. Coming into that reverse warrior. And then extend it back out on the exhale into warrior two. Taking another deep breath here. And then relax those arms down. Let's straighten that front leg and just change out that footing. So we're going to take those left toes forward. Take the right heel to the back corner of the mat. Bend through the left knee here. Elongate the hands out to the side, gazing down the left finger here. Pushing away from that right heel, making sure the hips and the shoulders are facing forward. Just slowing down that breath, feeling that stretch. And then a deep inhale. Let's take the right arm sweeping behind the back. Lift the left hand up. Coming into reverse warrior. And then stretching it back out into warrior two. Now we're going to start to work our way down to the mat. So controlling that breath once again. Release the hands by the side, and then we're going to take a big step up to the tops of the mat here. Inhale, big sweep of the arms. Exhale, forward fold, push that tailbone back, drop those hands all the way down to the mat, and then let's find that downward facing dog. So step back into that down dog here. And let's get a little pedal since this is that first down dog. We want to massage those hamstrings, being very gentle with the hips, just like we did in that first forward fold. So let's take a few bends here of the knees, walking it out. Massaging the hips here, the hamstrings, the shoulders. And then drop those knees under the hips, open the knees wide, kiss the big toes together. Let's find a child's pose. So dropping that seat back on the heels, we want to walk those biceps tightly into the ears, resting the forehead on the mat. Taking a deep breath, relaxing the body as we stretch to the tops of the shoulders, the upper back here, really elongating that spine. Taking that deep breath. In and out of the nose. Controlling that breath here. And then on that next inhale, let's slowly roll up onto the hands and knees. Walk the hands under the shoulders, bring those knees underneath the hips. We're coming to that flat back here, that good straight spine. Inhale, lift that tailbone, drop that belly, and we're going to raise that gaze up into cow. Exhale, tuck the hips, round the spine, drop the head into cat. Inhale, slowly rolling into cow. Exhale, tuck the hips, round the back into cat. Inhale into cow one more time. Exhale, tuck into cat. Really push the four corners of the palms into the mat. And then come to that neutral spine. Let's take the right foot up to the right pinky finger. We're going to take a deep inhale through the nose. Lift the right arm, lift the left arm. Get a good stretch here. Push those hips forward. And then exhale, let's take that right forearm down to the right thigh. And then just sweep that left arm over to the side, really opening through the left rib. Feeling that stretch down the abdominal wall all the way into the hip flexor. And then releasing it back forward, taking the hands back down to the mat. Let's bring that right knee back to meet the left. Now bring the left foot forward to the left pinky finger. Inhale, lift the left arm, then the right. Push the hips forward. Elongating that spine here. Drop the left forearm down to the top of the left leg. Reach the right arm over in a side sweep. Opening through those right ribs. Keeping the breath deep and steady here. And then releasing it all back down to the mat. Hands come back down to the mat. Left knee comes back to meet that right knee. Now getting back centered here, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Let's take an inhale back into that cow. So we lift that tailbone, drop that belly, and lift that head up. Exhale, tuck the hips, round the spine, drop the head. Inhale into cow. Exhale, rolling into cat. One more inhale into cow. One more exhale into cat. And then come to that neutral spine. Let's roll it on over into a seated position. So coming into that seated position here, we're going to work all the way down from the tip of the head down to the toes. So let's get a good straight spine here, lifting up those glute muscles if we needed to get really grounded through the seat bones. Take the hands to the knees, and we're going to start with that head. So let's drop the chin down to the chest, rolling the shoulders down and away. Stretching along the back of the neck, all the way into the shoulders. Let's get a little rock, taking the chin to the right shoulder. And then over to the left. Taking the chin to the right shoulder. And then the left. Over to the right. And then over to the left one more time. Big sweep, take the head all the way around. And then in the opposite direction. Lifting the head up, let's say yes. Taking the gaze to the ceiling and then down to the mat. All the way up and all the way down. Saying yes to the possibilities of this new season, the upcoming holiday season as we enjoy Christmas with our family, the birth of our Savior. And then we say no, we look over the right shoulder and then the left, just saying no here. No to the stress that this time of year sometimes brings. No to any anxiousness or worry that we may take into the season ahead, into this new year. We leave it all behind. And then bring the head back forward. Let's take the right hand down, sweep the left hand up. Get a good stretch to the left side. And then the left hand down, let's sweep the right hand up. Taking the right hand down, let's take a gentle twist here. Left hand to right knee, right hand behind the spine. We can gaze over that shoulder, taking it a little deeper. And then all the way around, right hand to left knee, left hand behind the spine. Taking the gaze over the left shoulder. And then bringing it all back forward. Now working our way down. Let's get a good butterfly here. Let's open up through those hip flexors so soles of the feet come together. You can take those elbows down to the knees, putting gentle pressure on the legs if that feels good for you. Or you can even have a flutter here if those legs are a little tight. Finding a little flutter or a rock in the legs, but just be gentle. Listen to what your body needs here. We just want to find a stretch through the hip flexors. This should feel good. No tension building up here. And then let's take it to the hamstring. So let's take that right foot directly out in front of that right hip. And then take a little step back as we bring that left heel into the hip flexor. Exhale as we melt down, reaching for those toes. So we're stretching into that right hamstring here. We want to be very gentle, so if those hands rest at the thigh or at the calf, down at the ankle if you reach for that toe, wherever you are in that range of motion is perfectly fine. That's where you need to stay. We leave that ego behind when we get on these mats. We listen to our bodies. We listen to what our bodies needs, and sometimes that changes from day to day. Sometimes that changes between the morning and the afternoon. So being very gentle as we listen to those muscles. Now slowly rolling it back up, coming to that straight spine, and let's swap out those legs here. So let's take that left heel out in front of the hip, taking that right hand in and get a little step back with that hip. Exhale, we melt over the left toe here. So we're moving that stretch into that left hamstring, into the back of the left knee. Even feeling a little pull into that left calf. Once again, letting those hands rest where they fall. This is a slow practice today. We're listening to our bodies. We're being very gentle. Just taking a few deep breaths here, and then we're going to roll over onto our backs. We're going to take a few twists on our back, really loving that spine some. And then as we get ready for our Shavasana. Now walking those hands back up. We're going to bring that left leg in and roll it down onto our backs here. Now we're going to extend those hands up above the head. Let's extend those feet down long below. Let's get a good stretch like it's the first stretch of the day. Really stretching it out long here. Take a deep inhale, long exhale, really elongating the spine, elongating the ribs. And then exhale, releasing it all back to center. Let's bring that right knee into the chest. Just leaving that left leg down onto the mat. Let's take that right hand to the right knee and let's get a few circles of that right knee. Maybe it feels good to open up that hip a little deeper. Listen to your body here. Maybe you take a few half moon shapes. Maybe you take a few full circles. Feel any little sticky spots here as you just roll that hip around. And then bring that knee tightly into the chest. And extend that right leg down to the mat. Bring that left knee in. Take the left hand to the left knee. Get a few circles here. Maybe you take some half moon shapes on that side too. Any little stickiness, any little spot that feels tight. Let's relax the hips here. And then bring the left knee back into the chest. And then let's bring that right knee up into the chest and meet it. Get a good tug of those knees. Curl into that tiny little ball. Get a little rock to the right and to the left. Just take a few rocks here. Rolling from side to side, just massaging that lower back on the mat. Just continuing to slow it down. This whole practice should be very relaxing, very slow. And then place the soles of the feet down onto the mat. Now we're going to take that left ankle atop that right thigh and then drop that left toe over to the side, getting a little twist here. So we're letting that left hip gravitate up and off the mat, twisting from that navel down. So really twisting into the hips here, into the outer seat. Taking just a few deep breaths, relaxing the body, relaxing the spine. Breathing in and out of the nose. And then deep inhale, let's lift it all back up and cross that left leg. Take the right ankle atop the left thigh here. Drop the right toe all the way down to the mat. Let the right hip lift up this time, twisting from that navel down again. So those shoulders stay planted on the mat. We're just twisting into that outer seat, into that hip. Just slowing it down. And just a few more stretches in this gentle practice today. Being intentional with this time. And And then deep inhale, let's lift it all the way back up and cross the right leg. Now we're going to take a deeper twist with our upper body. So rolling onto whichever side faces me, we're going to stretch both sides, but I want you guys to start out facing me. We're going to bring those knees in, bending the knees, taking the right arm down or the left, whichever side you're on, bringing the palms of the hands together. Deep inhale, let's open up through the chest, taking that palm open, touching the hand to the opposite side of the floor. Now this time from the navel down stays planted to the mat. So those knees stay facing that opposite direction. We open up through the chest here, taking those shoulders like headlights up towards the ceiling. And we're just going to take a few breaths, stretching, twisting into this upper spine. Being very gentle always as we take these twists. Taking just a few breaths here, relaxing it all to the mat. Breathing deep in and out of the nose. And then on that next exhale, blowing out all the air, closing the gap between the hands, bringing the hands back close. We're going to roll it over onto our bellies. We're going to come to those forearms. We're going to take a little baby cobra here, a little sphinx pose. So coming onto those forearms, the elbows are under the chest. Just taking a little stretch in that mid back. Drop the chin down to the chest. And then bringing it all back upright, let's roll over to that opposite side here. So we're going to face away from each other this time, bringing those knees in, palms of the hands come together, deep inhale, open to the chest, the knees stay planted, trying to get those shoulders open here. And just taking that deep breath, twisting in to that upper abdominal wall. We're just going to relax here on the mat for just a few moments. Just taking advantage of the stillness of this time to just rest and relax in this moment. Just slowing down. This time of year sometimes is so hard to do. So we're being intentional with this time. Just to find that restful state, knowing that we'll come up off of this mat better than when we were laying down. Just with that renewed spirit, that renewed mind. Feeling refreshed and ready for whatever the day has for us. Taking this time to prepare ourselves. Now on that next exhale, as we push out all that air, let's close the gap between the hands, bringing the hands back together, and we're going to find our way onto our backs here. Now I'm going to come into a seated position, but I want you guys to find your way into that Shavasana, into that corpse pose, lying all the way down on the mat. Take a few moments to get comfortable here. We're just going to do a very short meditation, and then I'm going to leave it open for you guys to stay in this position as long as you desire. But taking it all the way down to the mat, feeling everywhere that is touching that mat, the backs of the heels, the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, feeling the back as it's pressed in, the back of the shoulders, the elbows, the hands, all the way to the back of the head. Let's take a deep breath, just like we did at the beginning of the class, in through the nose, out through the mouth, relaxing it all down. In through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just feeling yourself melt into the mat. feeling any stress, any worry begin to melt into the mat. Any restlessness, any fears, just feeling it melt into the mat here. And I'm going to pray over you guys as we finish this class. My prayer for you this season is that you take time to slow down, that you take time to refocus during this Christmas season on what the true gift is, this beautiful life that we've been given. That we focus on the true meaning of Christmas and all the beauty that it brings. God, just help us to rest in your presence, that supernatural rest that only you can bring. That peace that only comes from you. That love, that full love, the love of a Savior. God, we thank you for this season. I pray that we don't take any of it for granted. That we focus on the good, that we focus on the possibilities, that we focus on the magic of Christmas and the new year that is ahead. Help us to see the possibilities. Help us to leave this year behind, leave the baggage behind, leave the worries behind, and see the possibilities of this bright and beautiful future. Help us to meditate and focus on the good, on the truth of this season. Guys, I thank you so much for joining me today on this beautiful day. I pray that you're blessed beyond measure,